Hello everyone, we are finally getting around to the Week 12 recap, and I think I could just slap myself because I got these notes done Sunday, but of course things have been really busy and I didn't get around to recording the video, so shame on me for not getting these done. But let's talk about Week 12 in a quick sense. So the Calgary Stampeders took on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Winnipeg winning 31-29. Game opened up really well with the first three drives between both teams ending in scores, and that was a 14-7 game at that point. Later in the second quarter, Jake Mayer tossed another TD to Malik Henry, who had 3 on the day, and this time it would be an 18-17 game with Winnipeg winning or leading by 1. The teams traded scores again, with Henry getting his third major of the day, and it was 25-23. In the third quarter with Calgary in front. A Stamps interception then led to them get a field goal to extend their lead to 4, making it 28-24. Winnipeg responded with Dakota Prukop rushing TD with just under 8 minutes to go in the game to take the lead, and a late call on third down. This was the talking point of the game, didn't go the Stamps' way, and the Bombers would go on to win this and lock up a winning season for the 6th consecutive season. And then, of course, another game we saw was the rivalry between the Hamilton Tiger Cats and the Toronto Argonauts. Toronto won this one 37-20. Wouldn't have expected this after the first half, but Hamilton, being Hamilton, just had a bad second half. That's kind of been the consensus this year. The game started out slow. Both quarterbacks had turnovers. It was relatively low scoring before Matthew Schultz came in to swap out Dane Evans, threw a TD to Lamar Durant to get his first major of the game, his first in Hamilton actually, and the Tabbies took a 10-3 lead. Toronto had a Gittins Jr. score with 23 seconds left in the first half to make it a 13-10 game before Seth Small hit a 58-yard field goal to make it a 16-10 lead at the break. Boris Beatty did his best to match it with a second half 56-yard field goal that was good, and that was a career best for him as well. Kind of shifted right into Toronto's way in the second half as MBT, who started the game rather poorly, just turned it on, and Dane Evans had an interception, and Schultz left the game with an injury. Killed a lot of momentum here as Jamal Peters picked up his second interception off of Dane Evans in the game. It would be the second of 3 interceptions. MBT had another TD pass. Jamal Peters had a 67-yard pick 6, and the team was able to get a 15-point lead, and it felt done from there. So as usual, turnovers killed the Tabbies, and I thought it was weird that Don Jackson didn't get a lot of touches in the second half. Had 3 carries and 2 targets in the second half, but in general had a good game in terms of what he was able to do in the first 30 minutes of the game, and then afterwards barely got the ball. Don Jackson, every time I watch him play, it's like a 5-yard run every time he touches the ball. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like he should get the ball more, especially if Evans is struggling with injuries, as that's been the case in the turnovers, and the Argos move back to 500. The other game here, Saskatchewan at BC, ended up being a 23-16 Saskatchewan win. This game was weird due to injuries we'd seen prior to this for both teams. Morrow, Williams for Saskatchewan, they got some guys back, and then Rourke for the Lions. And this one was a close one. BC under Connor. O'Connor actually had a 6-0 lead thanks to 2 drives that led to field goals. It would be the last time, though, that this team led the game. Field goal and an 85-yard drive or score by KSB made that so, as the Riders took a 10-6 lead. Then O'Connor had a groin injury, leaving Antonio Pipkin in there at quarterback to relieve the Canadian passer, with mixed results, of course. What else would you expect? And this is where the Riders grounded it out with some good carries by Frankie Hickson, and added some field goals along the way. Cody Fajardo led a 7-yard drive, or 7-play drive, I should say, to make it a 22-9 lead late in the third quarter. Then Pipkin gave the Lions some life later in this game with a TD pass, his first since week 1 of 2019, by the way, to pull the game within 8. That didn't happen. The comeback, I should say, didn't happen as there was a legal contact penalty, and that hurt BC as they were not able to get it done. Fajardo, of course, seems to have found his groove, and the team moved to 6-5 on the year. Final game of the weekend, Ottawa at Edmonton. The Red Blacks pick up their second win of the season, winning 25-18. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Edmonton really lost this game in a very specific period of time. They came out, had a 3-0 lead, and you're getting vibes that maybe, just maybe, they could repeat their success after beating Ottawa recently here. They then allowed touchdowns on 3 straight drives by the Red Blacks, and they just, what can you do there when you give up 3 drives like that in a row? You get yourself put in a hole. Got even worse to close out the half when the Elks went for a field goal. It was blocked, and that just kind of set the tone for the second half. Edmonton had a safety as well. Ottawa had got that to get an extended lead, as it just wasn't enough. Taylor Cornelius did have 2 rushing TDs in the second half. At the end of the day, though, Ottawa comes out of Commonwealth having their second win of the year. I don't know what to think of this game. Nick Arbuckle got the win, so I was happy there. In general, Edmonton, yikes. Those 3 drives still get you. What were your thoughts on Week 12? Let me know down below in the comments. Everybody, please make sure to like this video, subscribe if you are new. Stay safe, and have a great night.